Good day everyone. We are the Group 3 and we're going to discuss the design and managing services. Here are the learning objectives of this chapter. How can services be defined and classified and how do they differ from goods? What are the new services in realities? How can companies achieve excellence in services marketing? How can companies improve service quality? And lastly, how can goods marketers improve customer support services? Service is any act or performance one party can offer to another that is essentially intangible and does not result in the ownership of anything. Its production may or may not be tied to a physical product. Increasingly, manufacturers, distributors, and retailers are providing value-added services or simple excellent customer service to differentiate themselves. Many pure service firms are now using the internet to reach customers. Some operate purely online. The service component can be a minor or a major part of the total offering. There are 5 categories of service mix, which are the following. First is the pure tangible goods, which are physical product items like soap, toothpaste, or salt, with no accompanying services. Second is the tangible good with accompanying services, which are items with warranties or specialized customer contracts like cars, computers, or cell phones. Typically, the more technologically advanced the product, the greater the need for high-quality supporting services. Third is the hybrid offering, which is a combination of product and a service, like a restaurant meal. People patronize restaurants for both the food and its preparation. Fourth is major with accompanying minor goods and services. A good example of this is an air travel with supporting goods such as snacks and drinks. This offering requires a capital-intensive good, an airplane, for its realization, but the primary item is a service. Last is pure service, primarily an intangible service such as babysitting, psychotherapy, or
Services are equipment-based or people-based. People-based services vary by whether unskilled, skilled, or professional workers provide them. Service companies can choose among different processes to deliver their service. Restaurants offer cafeteria style, fast food, and buffet. Some services need the client's presence. Brain surgery requires the client's presence, a kind repair does not. Services may meet a personal need or a business need. Service providers typically develop different marketing programs for these markets. Service providers differ in their objectives and ownership. These two characteristics, when crossed, produce 4 quite different types of organizations. The marketing programs of a private investor hospital will differ from those of a private charity hospital or Veterans Administration hospital. Customers typically cannot judge the technical quality of some services even after they have received them. Figure 14.1 shows various products and services according to difficulty of evaluations. At the left are foods high in search qualities, that is, characteristics the buyer can evaluate before purchase. In the middle are goods and services high in experience qualities, characteristics the buyer can evaluate after purchase. At the right are goods and services high in credence qualities, characteristics the buyer normally finds hard to evaluate even after consumption. 4 distinctive service characteristics greatly affect the design of marketing programs. These are the intangibility, inseparability, variability, and perishability.
For intangibility, unlike physical products, service cannot be seen, tasted, felt, heard, or smelled before they are brought. A person getting cosmetic surgery cannot see the results before the purchase, and the patient in the psychiatrist's office cannot know the exact outcome of treatment. To reduce uncertainty, buyers will look for evidences of quality by drawing inferences from the place, people, equipment, communication, materials, symbols, and price. Therefore, the service provider's task is to manage the evidence to tangibilize the intangible. Because there is no physical products, the service provider's facility, its primary and secondary signage, environmental design and reception area, employee apparel, collateral material, and so on are especially important. Service providers are often choose the brand elements, logos, symbols, characters, and slogans to make the service and its key benefits more tangible. For inseparability, whereas physical goods are manufactured, then inventoried, then distributed, and later consumed, services are typically produced and consumed simultaneously. Several strategies exist for getting around the limitations of inseparability. The service provider can work with larger groups.
So next is variability. Some doctors have an excellent bedside manner, others are less empathetic. Service firms know that variability in their performance puts them at risk. Hilton initiated a major program to create more uniformity in guest experiences. So here are three steps service firms can take to increase quality control. First is invest in good hiring and training procedures. Second is standardize the service performance process throughout the organization. And lastly, monitor customer satisfaction.
Perishability is a characteristic of products and services that do not allow for the product or service to be stored for sale at a future date. On demand side, first is differential pricing, next is non-peak demand, next is complementary services, and lastly, reservation services. On supply side, first is part-time employees, next is peak time efficiency routines, next is increased customer participation, next is shared services, and lastly, facilities for future expansion. The overnight hotel stay example indicates that the actions and physical evidences in a service blueprint are represented by boxes. An action flow represents the sequence of actions performed. New service realities include shifting customer relationships, customer empowerment, and customer co-creation. The study aims at a conceptual analysis of the literature. Service companies require satisfying both customers and employees to remain competitive.
So for marketing excellence in services requires excellence in three broad areas: external, internal, and interactive marketing. External marketing describes the normal work of preparing, pricing, distributing, and promoting the service to customers, while internal marketing describes training, motivating employees to serve customers well. Interactive marketing describes the employee's skill in serving the client, and clients judge a service not only by its technical quality, like was the surgery successful, but also by its functional quality, like did the surgeon show concern and inspire confidence. So for technology and service delivery, technology is changing the rules of the game for services in a very fundamental way. But as companies collect, store, and use more information about customers, they have also raised concerns about security and privacy. Companies must incorporate the proper safeguards and reassure customers about their efforts.
This is the 6 best practices of top service companies. First is top management commitment. Second, high standards. Third, profit tiers. Monitoring system, satisfying customer complaints, and strategic concept. To become a top performing company, we need to apply those strategies because they are important. First is top management commitment. Says that it is the best direct involvement of senior management in the most important business process of the company. Second one is high standards when it comes to their employees and the product. Kasi if we are a professional on our company, like for example sa employee, parang kapag magaling siya, parang dalawang kakayahan niya, pwede mo siyang ilipat to the other department, pwede mo siyang palipat-lipatin, kaso ang disadvantage lang is baka mapagod yung yung employee. And then sa naman sa product is high standard kasi to prevent or to avoid the pangit na feedback ng customer. Third one is profiters and monitoring system. Need din po natin ito kasi to avoid the corruption of the company or the transparency in the company. And then, lastly po is satisfying customer complaint and strategic concept. Kasi po kapag may feedback yung mga customer sa atin, nagkakaroon tayo ng idea ano ba yung need natin i-improve sa business natin or product. Kung makikita nyo naman sa title ng PPT, title niya is Importance Performance Analysis. It is important because it provides a useful and easily understand the guide for identifying the most crucial product or service attributes in terms of their needs for managerial action as a means to develop a successful marketing program to achieve advantage over competitors. Para titignan mo saan ba nagkukulang, saan ba nagkamali yung sa product ninyo. You have two different types of service option. First is primary. Primary is represent the primary functionality of the device. And for the secondary naman is represent in additional functionality of the device, parang accessories ganon. And then for the innovation with the service, one of the example of this during the pandemic, biglang nag-boom or almost boom yung online seller, ganon, online shop ganon. Before naman ng pandemic, parang hindi sila kilala, ganon kakilala. And due to the pandemic, bigla silang umusbong kasi yung ibang tao nga takot lumabas and hindi sila pwede lumabas. And then addition dito is yung online consultation sa mga doktor. Before pandemic, wala namang online consultation, but nung nagkaroon na ng pandemic, ayun na, umuson na yung online consultation sa mga doktor, tapos yung payment is through GCash or online banking.
Next is managing service quality. The service quality of a firm is tested at each service encounter. If employees are bored, cannot answer simple questions, or are visiting each other while customers are waiting, customers will think twice about doing business there again. Flawless service delivery is the ideal output for any service organization. The customer switching behavior factors include pricing, inconvenience, core service failure, service encounter failures, response to service failure, competition, ethical problems, and involuntary switching.
So let's proceed to the service quality model. Gap number 1 between consumer expectations and management perception. Management does not always correctly perceive what customers want. Hospital administrators may think patients want better food, but patients may be more concerned with nurse responsiveness. Gap number 2 between management perception and service quality specification. Management might correctly perceive customers' wants, but not set a performance standard. Hospital administrators may tell the nurse to give fast service without specifying speed in minutes. Gap number 3 between service quality specification and service delivery. Employees might be poorly trained, incapable of or unwilling to meet the standard. They may be held to conflicting standards, such as taking time to listen to customers and serving them fast. Gap 4 between service delivery and external communications. Consumer expectations are affected by statements made by company representatives and ads. If a hospital brochure shows a beautiful room, but the patient finds it cheap and tacky looking, external communication have distorted the customer's expectations. Gap number 5 between perceived and expected service. The consumer may perceive the service quality. The physician may keep visiting the patient to show care, but the patient may interpret this as an indication that something is really wrong. Improving service quality. First, listening. Service providers should understand what customers really want through continuous learning about the expectations and perceptions of customers and non-customers. Reliability. Reliability is the single most important dimension of service quality and must be a service priority. Basic service. Service companies must deliver the basics and do what they are supposed to do to keep their promises, using common sense, listen to customers, keep customers informed, and be determined to deliver value to customers. Service design. Service providers should take a holistic view of the service while managing its many details. Recovery. To satisfy customers who encounter a service problem, service companies should encourage customers to complain and make it easy for them to do so. Respond quickly and personally and develop a problem resolution system. Surprising customers. Although reliability is the most important dimension in meeting customer service expectations, process dimensions such as assurances, responsiveness, and empathy are most important exceeding customer expectations. For example, by surprising them with uncommon swiftness, grace, courtesy, competence, commitment, and understanding. Fair play. Service companies must make special efforts to be fair and to demonstrate fairness to customers and employees. And lastly, teamwork. Teamwork is what enables large organizations to deliver service with care and attentiveness. In the next table, there are 5 service quality attributes. Under reliability are providing service as promised, dependability in handling customer service problems, performing services right the first time, providing services at the promised time, maintaining error-free records, and employees who have the knowledge to answer customers' questions. For empathy, are giving customers individual attention, employees who deal with customers in a caring fashion, having the customer's best interest at heart, employees who understand the needs of their customers, and convenient business hours. For responsiveness, are keeping customers informed as to when services will be performed, prompt service to customers, willingness to help a customer, and readiness to respond to customers' requests. For tangibles are modern equipment, visually appealing facilities, employees who have a neat and professional appearance, and visually appealing materials associated with the service. For assurance are employees who instill confidence in customers, making customers feel safe in their transactions, employees who are consistently courteous. Next is extending service quality model. Subsequent research has extended the service quality model. One dynamic process model of service quality was based on the premise that customer perceptions and expectations of service quality change over time. But at any one point, they are a function of prior expectations about what will and should happen during the service encounter, as well as the actual service delivered during the last contact. 83 tests of the dynamic process model revealed that 2 different types of expectations have opposite effects on perceptions of service quality. Number 1 is increasing customer expectations of what the firm will deliver can lead to improved perceptions of overall service quality. And number 2, decreasing customer expectations of what the firm should deliver can also lead to improved perceptions of overall service quality.
So for the next slide is incorporating self-service technologies or SSTs. So SSTs can improve the convenience of the business because it can make it easier and more convenient for the customers to perform tasks on their own without the need of human assistance, and this can save customers time and reduce their dependence on others. SSTs can also increase the efficiency because this can help the business operate more efficiently by reducing the need of human labor or streamlining processes. This can result in cost savings for the business and a faster service for customers. Managing product support services. So there's 3 types of customer worries, which are failure frequency, downtime, and out-of-pocket cost. Failure frequency refers to the number of times a product or a service fails to perform as expected, because customers may worry about the likelihood of product service failure and how often they will need to seek assistance or repairs. Next type is downtime. So this refers to the amount of time that a product or a service is unavailable or not functioning properly, because the customers may worry about the impact of downtime on their productivity, revenue, or daily activities. Last type of customer worries is out-of-pocket costs. So this refers to the expenses that customers must pay to purchase, maintain, or repair a product or a service. So the total cost of ownership over the lifespan of a product or services, as well as the unexpected cost that may arise. Last slide is post-sale service strategy. So post-sale service strategy is a set of operations that the business engages in after a product or a service has been purchased by a customer. So post-sale service is a plan for how a business will provide ongoing support and services to the customer after the sale.